I don't even know if you're at a bragging point at 2 million anymore, right? Now you got to be like at 3, 3.5, 4 for people to be like, dang, that house is.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Super excited. I got my boy Michael Graham on here today. Michael, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome, buddy. I love the energy. You don't know this, viewers, but Braydon had to do 20 push-ups right now before he walked in the door so he could get his energy up. Yeah, and some pull-ups.
Let's go.
I love it.
I've known Michael here for, probably 6-7 years now, I think, coming up
A
on
while,
something
man.
like that. Yeah, I think it was like right when I got into Magnus. I think you were still at Keller Williams, and that was kind of.
And it took a while for you
did.
to get
I
me
had
to
to
come
draw
over to
your
the
ass. It
dock.
took a while,
Sorry.
dude. Michael's at Exp Realty. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Tell everyone about how long you've been in real estate, where you're at now, what you've been up to.
Great question. So I've been in real estate since 2004. I moved to Scottsdale. So that's 17 or 18 years. I can't do math really
18,
well,
like 18,
especially on the spot. Do we look into the camera? Hello. Or do we just look at each other, right? Okay. Awesome.
If you want to really make a statement, you can.
I didn't want it to be awkward.
Like it's really setting the tone. Like, give it a
I've done a podcast before, but I've never done it on camera, so I didn't know. How's my profile? So yeah, been in real estate for 18 years. It's been a great career. I love real estate. And it's allowed us the flexibility to make good money and then take some time off and enjoy life and travel, because that's what we're really all about.
Yep.
And yeah, so now I'm here in Scottsdale. I'm working, putting deals together, hustling. And EXP's been a great company. I moved to them in 2018, I want to say. So been there for 4 years. And yeah, just a good concept. I guess I've been predominantly an individual agent. My wife worked with me for some time. We have 2 children now, so she's been at home for the last 4 years since we had our first baby, 3 years. But yeah, I've been predominantly an independent agent. Had her working with me at one point. I did hire multiple people on my team to service a townhome project that we sold. It was kind of like a new build project.
What was that project?
It was called Arium Townhomes.
How many units was that?
There were 24 units, I believe, on that piece. And there were a couple phases. So there was another real estate company that worked before we took over that second phase. I think they were just tired, or it was fizzling out between them and the something. They needed to make a change. So we came in there and sold out and finished that project. And it was good. After that project in actually, it was 2017 that we sold out of that. When we finished up that project, we decided to take a sabbatical to Mexico, and we went and lived in Playa del Carmen for a few months. And the month prior to that, we traveled around Europe for about 5 weeks. So it was a really good. That's why I love real estate, right? Because we sold, we did well, and then we said, okay, now we're going to, we rented our house out Airbnb, which did really well. We live in Old Town Scottsdale. I remodeled my house, so it's like a brand new home. We did that in 2015. And it's, 5 minutes from Fashion Square Mall. So that did well, but it allowed us the opportunity to go travel, be in a different place. And some really cool things happened while we were on that trip. And one of which is Danielle got pregnant, my wife, and we had been trying to have kids for a while. And so that was a really cool surprise. And just a great trip. And we just got to do that same thing again at the beginning of this year. We went and lived in San Carlos, Mexico. I think I was telling you that's where I learned how to kite surf, which was amazing. So that's one of my new addictions, is kite surfing. And we were there for 3 months, rented our house out again, Airbnb, and did well with it. And we're going back again next year in January. So it's ruining my snow ski season, but the wind is just amazing down there. It's like a cold, hard punch wind. And just the spot that we have there in San Carlos is amazing. It's, beautiful views and just a really cool community of kite surfers. And so just fun. Just enjoying life, man.
I love it.
That's what we're doing, dude.
Started another company as well this year.
Yep.
Tell everyone about that. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Started it actually in 2018. That was another big thing that happened on that sabbatical.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been 4 years.
4 years in the making, huh?
When I went on that trip to Playa del Carmen, that's when this idea came to me. I went out to the beach with some friends and got totally sunburned, and we only had an umbrella. And we had some beach blankets. I got bit by sand fleas, too. Have you ever gotten bit by sand fleas before? Well, that's a treat, aside from getting a bad sunburn. But anyway, that night I had this crazy dream. I woke up at 3 a.m. and kept my eyes closed and just finished out the vision that I had of this dream while I was laying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning with my eyes closed. And I woke up the next day and I was like, my parents were visiting us there at the time. And I sat everybody down and I said, get your coffee, don't talk. Okay, are you guys settled in? Because I have to tell you something. And I mean, that's how compelled I was.
Yeah.
You know, that's how moved I was by this vision. And so, yeah, 4 years later, I have 2 patents that have been awarded on that product, and I have a patent pending on another design.
So what is the product?
So the name of the company is called Shade Eco. You can pronounce it Shade Echo, but it's the word shade and the word echo all clumped together. And what Shade Eco is, it's an outdoor company, but our main flagship product right now is a unique design for an all-in-one shade that converts to a hammock. So it's the only shade that can convert to a hammock. And so what it is, it's an all-in-one. We have 2 different units, like a less expensive unit that just comes with a shoulder strap bag, and a more expensive one that comes with a fully functioning hiking backpack, right? So you can store all kinds of stuff in it. You can, use the clamps and the straps on the outside to put more stuff in the backpack. So the whole idea behind this concept was, I like to fly to Playa del Carmen, and I'm not taking a big umbrella, or I'm not taking one of these giant canopy things.
Right.
You're never traveling. And then when you get to these places that you're on the beach, you need shade. Unless you're in an all-inclusive resort where there's already beach umbrellas set up.
Yep.
If you like to travel remote and you're in Tulum, right? You're on some desolate beach. There's palm trees. I love hammocks, right? So I love hanging in this hammock. I'm in between palm trees. I'm listening to ocean. That's my jam, right? And I love, needing shade is important, and having a somewhere to lay too. So when I came up with this concept, and I mean, it's been years in the making of me going down to the beach, trying it out, making changes, right? Going back to my manufacturer and hey, we got to change this, and the engineer, hey, let's design this. And so we've created all kinds of bells and whistles where it's there's a blanket on the bottom, right? So you have somewhere to lay.
Yep. There's
a shade on the top. It's fully adjustable. There's telescopic posts that go from 18 inches all the way up to 6.5 feet. So you can stand under this.
There's
thing.
little screw anchors, right, that go into the sand.
Yeah, there's sand anchors, and those attach to the telescopic post, but then we've also created grass anchors. So if you're at the park, you use these. And so we're trying to create it to where it's modular, to where, we sell accessories that complement it. I'm working on some sandbag anchors right now that will run out as a prototype. So if there's super heavy wind, you can attach those. But the idea is, how do I have everything I want for the outdoors in one bag? And I never have to think about it. It's just always in my car, right? If I live in San Diego, it's always in my car. I show up at the beach and I'm there. It's a pain in the, can I say bad words?
Oh yeah, let it fly.
It's a pain in the ass to go to the beach because it takes 30 minutes to load the car and 30 minutes to walk all your crap. Exactly, dude. Imagine if you didn't have to do that. Imagine if you just had one backpack and you just showed up and you knew you'd be comfortable with that one backpack. Now, if you're having some sort of giant freaking family reunion, yeah, you're going to take the extra time to take those big, heavy structures because you're going to need way more square footage shaded and all that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about, man, I want a place to lay. I want the thing. And, and the fact that it converts into hammocks is pretty cool and unique because when you're on those kind of trips, you just convert that thing back into a hammock at night and now you're chilling. So it's all kind of in one place. That's the idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great product. And when's the shipping date?
They get here at the end of July. They're on the water right now.
Nice.
So they've been manufactured. Our first run was a Kickstarter campaign that we did last summer. We raised $67,000 and got about 280 clients. And so, they'll get their products at the end. And I over-ordered products because we're going to open up a store on Amazon to start. Okay. And so we'll be selling them on Amazon here at the end of July.
Love it.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Let's jump back into real estate. So, obviously you've got a lot of experience in the industry. You've seen the ups in the '08 market and the downs and stuff, and what we've seen over the course of the time.
Yeah.
Where do you see the market going? What are you seeing now?
It's gonna crash, man.
It's gonna crash.
We're all gonna die. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I couldn't have told you that a weird pandemic was going to hit either, and that we would be running out of toilet paper at Costco. Like, people would be beating each other up in the parking lot for toilet paper. Could have totally not seen that. But the market's softening right now for sure. Houses are staying on the market a little longer. We're seeing price decreases. We're seeing in interest rates going up, and things are adjusting, right? But do we have a lot of straw buyers, a lot of fake money out there where people own 5 houses but they don't even have a job kind of thing like we saw in 2008?
Right.
I don't think the lenders got that careless this time around. Have we experienced massive inflation and just, housing prices going through the roof? Yes. But that softening, will it be 10%? Will it be 20%? Will it be 30%? Maybe, will it be 100% though, like we saw in 08, or 50%? I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not the economic nerd to ask those types of questions.
I mean, you just had 2 nice listings that you put under contract within a couple days still, right?
Yeah. And I just took another off market. I just took another listing, so it will be on market, but it's off market right now. But, I had a client moving from Florida that's been looking and super picky and not liking what she was seeing at the 1.1 or the 1.2 that she was willing to spend for the right house. Yep. Something came on the market for $895 and it met all the criteria. And we were lucky because the couple that owns the house were just meticulous, so they kept it right, and they priced it right because they're appraisers, so they didn't overprice, and so we came in at full price and just locked it down right away. I mean, very rarely do I give a listing agent just hours to respond, right? I always give them 24 hours because I want to give them room to breathe, and I'm like, okay. But on this one, I'm like, okay, we're coming a little bit over, and I asked and checked with her, like, if we give you a really good offer, you'll respond, right? And they're like, we don't have a time limit. So I wrote it for them to respond 11 p.m. that night because I didn't want to compete with anybody, and we locked it down, and it was a good deal.
Yeah.
And then I never go to the west side, but I randomly sold something on the west side, which is a new build, new to me too, in Avondale. It's called Alamar, and it's a new project, and D.R. Horton had a nice house for $450-ish for a client that's moving from Idaho.
How big was that?
About 1,800 square feet.
That's pretty good size.
So, and a pretty house and nice layout. The new builds now, flow with that open concept. They're able to fit 4 beds in there. So 4 bed, 2 bath. Is it 2 bed or 2.5 bath? I can't remember, but not bad for $450 in today's market, right? But things have changed. I used to think that $1 million home was like, oh my God, he lives in $1 million home. Now $1 million home is like, you live there,
right?
Maybe not that much, but it's like more from my perspective, like I wouldn't pay $1 million for that house.
It's definitely not like a bragging point like it used to be. Like, oh
no.
yeah, I'm in $1 million property, like. Okay, great. That house was worth $500,000 2 years ago, so good for you.
And I don't even know if you're at a bragging point at $2 million anymore, right? Now you got to be like at 3, 5, 4 for people to be like, dang, that house is pimp.
Yep, that's true. Anything under $2 million, it's not like you're getting some like crazy big monstrosity house anymore. It's got the huge yard anymore. Yep. It still might be in the track neighborhood, and
right?
Not a custom build or whatever. You're like, oh wow, all right,
craziness.
These have done some crazy appreciation, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about real estate then? Other than the freedom, of course.
Yes. I love working hard when I work hard. I do take good strides of time off. I have little mini retirements, when I go on these sabbaticals for 3 months at a time. Because, anybody can go on a 2-week vacation, right? But when you go live somewhere else for a couple or a few months, it's a really cool change in rhythm and tempo for your life, right?
Yeah.
And I think it fills your soul. in such a way that you're able to see things differently and more clearly when you approach them again in whatever it is that you do. And sometimes things fall in your lap, like Shady Cove fell in my lap when I went away. But back to your question, what I love about real estate, I love negotiating. I feel really good when I get a deal done. Like yesterday, I took a listing for $2.2 million in Old Town. And I knocked on this guy's door 6 or 7 years ago. And I've always followed up because he's got a dynamite property. It's 30,000 square feet. He's got 2 houses on there.
How big?
30,000 square foot lot.
Okay.
Right? He's got 2 houses on there, right? The bigger one, 22,000 square feet, and then the smaller one, 1,700 square feet. They've subdivided their own property. So there's one lot that's 10,000 and another lot that's like 20,000, right?
Okay.
But they literally are in a neighborhood that's residential. It has no HOA. And it's the only one that's connected to Fashion Square Mall. It's on Paradise Parkway. Okay. So you can walk to Fashion Square Mall without having to cross a major street. Huge for the vacation rental, right? So I'm trying to work a plan where we create a syndicate on that property. We do a general partnership, get some investors, and we take that down ourselves. Yeah. But signing that listing contract was awesome yesterday because I've been following up with them, and they're such do-it-yourselfers, non-committing, like, I don't want to commit because we have so many opportunities and so many people, and I had to close them like 6 or 7 times. I mean, I had to break everything out, dude. I was like, you guys know me. Like, my 2 daughters. Yep. Like, I live down the street. Like, I'm going to take really good care of you. Just trust me and I won't let you down. Yep. Like, we can rip this contract up if I don't do my job at any time. Like, I had to close them over and over again. They're like, well, we just don't want to commit, And I'm like, listen. I'm like, then you're going to get what you've been getting, which is you haven't sold your house yet. People have said they'd be willing to do this or that or whatever. So I just had to kind of like just nudge them along. And I even had to, listen, I'll give you a break. If these people that you're really talking about come to fruition and they're your buyers, I'll reduce my commission to this just so that you can, feel good about that. And then I said, if I bring my own buyer, I'll reduce the commission to this. And, so I had to kind of work through it and finally got a signature. So I love that about real estate is like that. Yep. And I will take care of them, right? I've had to do that several times with people to get them to trust me and get them over the edge. But, once I get them in my hands, it's like, yeah, I love my job because I do. I like providing a high level of service and a really good level of negotiating and just taking care of them like if I were taking care of my own parents or myself, right? Like I'm completely detached to the outcome and I show up and tell the truth. That's something that I learned from Mike Ferry. It always sticks with me. Mike Ferry, I don't know if you know that.
Yep. Tom's dad.
Yeah, Tom's dad, right? So he still has a very successful coaching company, but he said in one of their training seminars one time, he said, show up, tell the truth, and don't be attached to the outcome. Yep. And it's great because we used to call that when I sold books door to door in college, the buying atmosphere. And the buying atmosphere is the opposite of a salesperson that rushes up to you in a retail store, right? The salesperson runs up, what are you looking for? Can I help you try anything on? And your first reaction is like, no, I'm good, dude. I'm good. Yeah. That's a bad buying atmosphere. A good buying atmosphere is, Braydon, I don't care if you buy anything today or you don't. That doesn't affect me. What I want to do is help you if you want to move forward. Just give me a simple yes or no if you'd like to move forward or not, and you won't hurt my feelings. We'll still be friends if we can't do business. And that kind of buying atmosphere allows the buyer to buy. It allows them to make a decision on their own because they don't feel the pressure of you like, I have to make this sale. Right. Now, yesterday inside, I was like, I have to get this closed. But I'm not telling them that. I'm like, I don't need this. Yep. But you need me.
And that's the property you want to buy yourself actually to Airbnb? Is that what you thought?
Yes, I want to put together some investors and put that together. Okay. So while I'm telling you, I know you know some people with a couple of dollars in their pockets, maybe more than that. So we can talk about that after this podcast. I'd love to talk more about that. Yeah. Because I think that'll be a dynamite property. I did some research on it with one of my Airbnb gals, and she, on a 15-bed, 9-bath, and that's when we thought we were building several different structures, but she came back with a figure of $451,000 per year on the gross income. So you have to obviously take out your costs from that. But that's big. I mean, even if you bring in 250 on a product like that, it's going to be about $2 million to take it down and then another $1 million to rehab it. So you'll be in at $3 million. So, bringing in 250 net a year, I mean, you'll pay that back in 8 or 9 years. So it'll be a good sound investment, and just the location's not going anywhere. I don't think Fashion Square Mall is ever going to disappear with Louis Vuitton and Gucci there. And lines out the door to go buy those things, which I don't get, by the way.
Crazy. I know. Yes. You walk in there, you're like, there's a line outside of Gucci?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to buy a bag? That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say?
I saw something interesting on Instagram, and I don't know exactly what the guy said, but he said, the youth today, why are they spending this exorbitant amount of money on these things, right? Like Louis Vuitton and that sort of thing. And he said that, when you lack freedom, what you need to identify with is something that gives you that empowerment, right? And so you look for the symbol of those things, right? So it's like if you have the newest Air Jordans on, or you have the Louis Vuitton, it's like you're possessing that, that power of freedom, that's something that you're identifying with.
Yep.
Something he was explaining.
I was listening to a guy this morning. He was talking about how most guys anyways, or people in general are more about status than anything. And so it's the bag makes you look like you're in that different status level of, I'm bougie. Look at me. I got this bag.
Well, and it's weird, but the perception is there too, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so I drive a Range Rover, and I bought this Range Rover when I was like super into the real estate thing, and I was like, trying to get to the next level and doing this stuff. And so I went out and bought this, and I love the car. Obviously, it's an awesome car, but part of it was, a business decision. Like, they're going to think that I know what I'm doing because this is what I drive. Right. And oddly enough, that's exactly what happens. And it's a little bit older. It's paid off. In some cases, but the older, more conservative part of me now is like, well, I like not having a car payment, so I'm not going to try to get a $1,500 car payment or spend an extra $150,000 on this newer Range Rover when I already own mine, and it looks good and it runs and it's awesome. It's just, I don't know.
When looking back at it, do you think that actually helped you sell more houses?
Maybe it helped me close more deals.
Kinda.
Yeah, exactly. So somewhere in your psyche, it maybe helps you. Like,
do you listen to Brad Lee at all?
No.
He's kind of a big hype man to kind of spot, kind of like what's the big guy that Grant Cardone? He's very similar to him.
Yeah.
And he talked about it. He's like, when I'm working with somebody, I want a guy that's got the watches, he's got the cars, he pulls up, he's got everything,
right?
Because he's doing it.
He's hustling. And Mike Ferry used to say that. He's like, if you're not doing enough deals, go out and buy another car, go out and buy another house, get into debt, make yourself work. You know,
fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. So part of that, like, yes, I agree with. And then there's another part of it that's like, I'm not trying to sell 500 houses a year and be a slave to my business and have 12 employees. That means I have to show up at the office 9 to 5 every day, 5 days a week,
right?
And sometimes on the weekend, and sometimes like all year long, and yeah, I might be able to take a really nice vacation for a week or two and buy anything I want, right? $1,000, $2,000 a night at the Ritz. But guess what? I can only be gone for a week or two, right? I gotta come back. So, I've tried to have this,
especially with your two daughters now too. It's like, okay, where do you spend your time? What's more important?
100%, and that's a big part of my life, right? Like, I have my real estate business, I have Shady Co, and I've got my daughters and my family and wife, and lately we have become completely addicted to pickleball. I was already addicted to it,
yep.
But Danielle wasn't playing, right? So I would show up after an hour and a half or 2 hours. She'd be like, you've been gone for 2 hours, and I've been here with the but now she's gotten into it, and so she loves it. So we've literally played 2 hours every morning for the last 2 months, 7 days a week.
No way.
Yeah, we just love it because Herberger Park is right down the street from where we live,
yep.
And so we go do pickup games, and it's it's awesome for, and here I am selling pickleball to you, but it's awesome for a few
I
different
already play,
reasons.
Michael. It's okay.
I love it. It's awesome for a few different reasons. Number one, it's an awesome workout, right?
Yep.
You work really good sweat. Number two, it's super social. You meet
It
some
is.
super cool
It is.
people, and you have these great interactions with them, and you kind of get to love these people. You see them every day, and they're super fun and friendly.
My parents' biggest community right now is their pickleball team.
Right, dude. And you know, I could see myself or us, Danielle and I, hanging out with any of those people
Yep.
right after. And we haven't yet, but it's like,
My mom is in a
you could.
pickleball bunko group. My dad is in like 3 different leagues.
How crazy
They are
is that?
obsessed. It is like the biggest thing.
And the
that they spend.
last thing, right, aside from the workout and the social part, is that competitive component, right? Is like, I want to win, right? And when I win, I feel good, you know? And when somebody hits a good shot, you feel good complimenting them, and you feel kind of proud of them, right? When you watch them grow in their game. But yeah, there's just some certain shots in that game that you get, you
Yep.
know? And you're just like, dude, I'm in. It's like golf. You make a birdie, dude, and you're like, I am coming back.
I'm hooked.
I am hooked.
Yep.
I'm awesome. And
I'm awesome.
lately, what's been super fun is we show up because the girls are up all night or whatever. Danielle's still breastfeeding, so we're like out up late, right? We have a nanny that lives with us at the house, and so she'll watch the kids while we go play pickleball. But we usually go at about 8 or 8:30.
Yep.
And sometimes it'll be like everybody's kind of gone or we're kind of odd. So I've been playing 2-on-1 where I'm against 2 players. Oh, dude. And when I win
That's a
those
workout.
games, it's a good workout. But when I win those games, I'm like, dude, what's up? Like I get jazzed about that because you're fighting against 2 players. But I
Yeah.
think you bring a different level of your game because you're the only one responsible for getting to every ball, hitting every ball. So you're sharper. Yeah, and we were doing that the other day with another friend, Leo, that plays there, Leo. And there was only 3 of us, and I said, okay, you try. And I told him the same thing, like your game's going to be sharper. And, you know, he loved it. He played super well. I think he beat me and this other guy once. And, yeah, it was just a cool experience.
Yeah.
Have you done that before, played
I
2-on-1?
don't think so. No.
Okay.
No,
And
I'll
you
have to try it
how often do you play?
out. Once a month, I would say. Not
Oh, wow.
not very often. No. I mean,
You're too busy doing everything else,
Right.
which is like golfing here, golfing there, golfing here. I love it.
there's only enough time for so much golf.
All
you know?
right, I know.
Michael, this has been awesome.
We're done already?
We could sit here and chat
I'm
forever.
so
I know,
good at
I
talking,
know,
dude. I
know.
could talk for another hour. How long was that?
How long have we been on here? 26 minutes.
26 minutes. Okay,
So
cool beans.
not too short, not too long. Yeah,
that's
normally
not-
we're about 20 to 30.
Okay.
For everyone that wants to get a hold of you for all the real estate needs, how can they reach out to you? Or if they need a Shady Co.
Yeah.
How can they reach out to you?
So ShadyCo is shadyco.com. Our website will be up and running here probably in the next month 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks from now. But it's the word shade and echo all together.com. ShadeECO.com.
I'll include a link on the YouTube as well.
Yeah, cool. And then for real estate, my cell phone's 480-628-9392.
Michael Graham, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, with the Graham Group at Exp Realty. Michael's the man.
Thank you, Mr. Braydon. I appreciate you.
Just enjoy hanging out with you, bud. It's
Thanks,
always
man.
fun. You get surfing together, golfing
Yes,
together.
sir.
Just good people. But thanks again for sticking around for another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Stick around, more to come. Thanks, guys.